Hey, what's good, YouTube? Welcome back to the Brown Jet. I hope you had a fantastic New Year. I think everyone's had their New Year at this point. Especially if you're in California, you just had it a couple hours ago. But I have some disturbing updates for you regarding Tangem and their wallets. So let's get into it. But before we do, just remember, nothing I say here is financial advice. Please do your own research. I'm just a guy on YouTube. Speaking of which, help support the channel, like and share this video, subscribe to the channel, follow me on all my socials, and if you want access to my premium services, they're linked below. Now, Tangem is a wallet brand that really took off in 2024. In fact, they reached out to me in early 24 and I ghosted them until I started using their wallet myself. I found their wallet was very convenient. It was, it's a small card that you can fit into your wallet, and basically you can store your crypto on it. Like, it's very easy, right? Like, you see, it's so small, and they even have covert cards that make it like unidentifiable to other people what that is. So it really does add security. Now, the reason I was looking at Tangem is I always believe that you don't want to have all your funds on one wallet. Then you have one point of failure. You want to basically diversify your money when you have, a substantial amount across many different wallets. The same way I diversify my money across many different banks. And Tangem felt very easy because you could hold like 4 or 5 cards, and they held a ton of different tokens. They had an app which allowed you to swap your tokens very easily. So it allowed for management. Wasn't the best on DeFi, but it was definitely something that I really liked. And that's why I made a video reviewing it after using it for a bit. But something has recently come to my attention. Thank you, DJ and Philly, for sort of linking me this. Basically, Tangem had a major compromise in which the Tangem mobile app basically was leaking the private keys. So obviously, we know this is a no-no. Everyone sort of was upset about Ledger Recover service when they offered it, because people started thinking, well, maybe they can store our seed phrase and everything. But just imagine the amount of money that you have, or the amount of money you may have in the future, and people being able to access it, Tangem employees and everything like this. They didn't provide a reaction very well, at least not in a good enough time. And it has gotten crazy. So Tangem did respond to this, basically saying they appreciate the feedback. They've resolved it now, and they've sort of prioritized transparency. And basically what had happened was there was a bug in the mobile app's log processing. Basically, if you generated a seed phrase, which, when I opened my Tangem and when I helped others, I made sure they didn't do a seed phrase. They did the card recovery with the extra 2 cards in the set, which allows you together to create the main card. But still, we don't know what we don't know, right? And basically what happened here is, well, if you created a seed phrase, it got sort of, generated and submitted a support request through the app, giving any one of their employees likely access to it. Now, what happened is now they're saying they identified the bug promptly. No, they didn't identify the bug promptly. What happened was somebody said this, and just imagine how much money was at risk. Details of this resolution have been made openly visible in our source code, reinforcing our commitment, blah, 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 blah. A lot of words to say, like, it's really hard to trust them. Yeah, great. They can say that the impact was minimal. Maybe the impact was minimal now, but you know what this tells somebody? If you're a hacker and you're like, looking to, make a good, score a good bag, you realize that if this bug was there by Tangem, there's so many more potential out there. And I myself personally just do not trust to keep a lot of funds on these wallets anymore. Remember, the way I believe you should always operate is like you can see right here. Here is a ledger. You can see this right here. Here is my Flex. You can see this right here. It's my Ledger Flex, right? I got a ton of wallets. I keep my funds outside and sort of diversified across them. And sometimes I pick specific wallets based on, if they're better to store funds on. For example, storing funds on Aptos, I have not been able to figure out how to do it with Ledger. I'm sure you can, because you can add an account, but it was very easy to hold that stuff on Tangem. But the problem is now Tangem has basically shown through this that there's a lot of additional risk. We already take enough risk in crypto with rug pulls, with malicious links, with phishing attempts, all sorts of scams. And all that alone, we need our tokens to go up. If we're holding Ethereum, you're like, like if you're holding Ethereum, we haven't really been celebrating that much this year. But imagine adding on top of this, any moment somebody could like hack into Tangem's email database and just steal our seed phrases. What else is there that we don't know? And that's the thing. I don't want to say Tangem is not secure, but I just don't trust in its security anymore, right? And there was this whole thread on here basically talking about this, right? You can see here are the comments. I'm going to link this after the fact, but basically they're saying it's only for those who had a seed phrase. But that's what they know now. They wouldn't have said this last week. Last week they said there's no compromises. We have zero clue. So I just wanted to bring this to your attention because as much as Tangem has putting out PR, Tangem is also a business. Tangem is not going to come out here and tell you, hey, guess what, guys? Our stuff is not secure. We have to figure things out. No, they literally have PR people who are meant, no matter how much the operations are going, to basically quash any potential blowback and prevent any sort of attrition of their user base. And the other thing I don't like is there are a lot of influencers who I believe are being incentivized by Tangem to actually promote their wallet. Yes, there's a referral fee. That's like $10, is whatever. But I'm sure I've seen a lot of influencers promote it, and it tells me either they really want the $10 that bad, or they are literally getting something else. I don't know, but I'm sure a lot of them will not be covering this. So I wanted to bring this to your attention. Once again, shout out to DJ in Philly. I woke up, at like, 10 a.m. Dubai time, like 4 hours ago. And I saw this thread that he sent me, and I was like, oh my God, I've got to make a video. And I want to let you guys know what I did. So immediately I went into all my Tangems, spread out all these funds across a bunch of new wallets that I created, new accounts I created under current hardware wallets. For now, it even convinced me to open up my Flex and set it up today because it was in a box since Black Friday, and I've only kept a tiny bit of money on Tangem, and what that is basically is, you can see here, like, I'm going to move my Sui out, but like, for example, I got like $19,000 in BitTensor, right, on this one. And I got some other BitTensor wallets that I have to basically clear. I have to basically move this somewhere else. But I just wanted to let you guys know, does that mean, hey, most likely question you have is, hey, I have a Tangent wallet, is it over? No, it's not over, but it's a lot more risky today to hold your funds in Tangent than it was yesterday. And given where we're at, I would rather just have my funds in Ledger, for example, than Tangent. And Ledger also has the flexibility of being very good for DeFi. Tangent, for example, I only used it as a cold storage device where I would just sort of hold on to my crypto. I wasn't really moving it around or doing much with it. With this going on, there's additional risk. So you have to weigh the pros and cons of this. Personally, I would not have any funds on Tangem that I wasn't comfortable losing. And I am prioritizing trying to take as much money off Tangem as possible. And I think I'm probably just going to use Tangem in the future just to have like, $1,000 or $2,000 on me if I ever need it. If I'm going to like I don't know, some country where like I don't want to bring my other like bigger wallets to, or if I'm ever traveling to Europe and Europe's going to have a bunch of KYC going forward on certain wallets, I'm going to bring those. I'm going to bring them on my Tangem so I don't have those issues. But guys, I just wanted to make this video to make sure it's very clear. I'm going to provide all of the links here sort of to what Tangem has talked about. Like I said, guys, just remember, please look at it from the lens of they're a business as well. So their number one goal here is to potentially quash any fears. I'm not saying that they haven't solved any existing security loopholes, but my question is, are they aware of all of them? And the fact that their app was doing this and logging seed phrases, and it was doing this clearly for over a year, well, what else is there that they didn't do? So I hope you found that video helpful. Like I said, I'm here to help you succeed in the bull run. Obviously, you don't have to get rid of your Tangem right away. There's still maybe a use for them. it's diminished until I see it. And likely, unless Tangem does open source, I find it very hard to just blindly trust, right? This is the thing. Open source, we're in decentralization, right? Why is it that a company can basically hide these things, right? And obviously, it's a proprietary value that they have with their wallets. But if you have an open source and you do the right trademarking, I'm sure there's a way to get around it. With that being said, guys, hope you liked the video. If you did, hit the like button, share the video, subscribe to the channel. And until next time, I'll see you in the next